Hello, everyone. This is Andreas Pop Culture Guy. Today is the latest Andreas Pop Culture Retrospective slash review, and today we're discussing Superman 3 because Superman 3 has its 40th anniversary this year. Superman 3 crash landed in theaters 40 years ago on this June 17, 1982. While it recouped its budget at the box office back then, the film was a major letdown for critics and fans alike, like myself. I was one of those fans. Well, I mean, I'm not a fan of the Super. Well, I'm one of those fans of the Reeve films, Superman the movie and Superman 2 were easily two of my favorite movies of all time growing up. I was, uh, yeah, when I was a young kid, when I saw Superman 3 the first time, to expect the same brilliance as the first two films was a asking for this film. Instead, what we all got was something else entirely. Superman 3 is a lot of things, namely campy and uneven film, but in 1983, it should have felt like a unmagnetic disaster for this Superman fan of today. Now, superhero genre has experienced more than its fair share of highs and lows. The 20th century has been a golden age of superhero movies, but the same cannot be said for 20th century Superman films. For every truly great superhero for the era, another was almost unwatchable. Even Christopher Reeve, whose take on Superman is still beloved, started in some clunkers as the Man of Steel. That includes the 1983 Superman 3 as the which paired me up with all the performers. I mean, come on, Richard Pryor, and of course, Robert Vaughn from the Man from Uncle TV show. Now, let's celebrate this 40th anniversary this year with this film. After coming off the acclaimed Reeve's first two films, Superman 3 failed to meet their critical and financial success. But here's the reason why. Now, Superman 3 is one of the first examples of what can go wrong when a superhero movie prioritizes spectacle over story. Now, this movie is directed by, again, Richard Lester, who did the second film, after Richard Donner was fired from the first one. Now, the film follows Christopher Reeve Superman as he finds himself in an unexpected conflict with a powerful CEO named Ross Webster, who decides he wants to kill the Man of Steel so he can take over the world from Marcus without anyone standing in his way. Now, Webster hires Gus Garman, Richard Pryor's character, a unsuspected computer genius who gets roped into helping his boss create weapons and design to kill Superman. Throughout the film, which exclusively follows the events of the Bar Superior Superman 2, both Reeve's Clark Kent and Pirate's Gus find themselves in a grand camping conflict, the best and worst versions of themselves. The movie doesn't handle either the conflict with much grace, although Reeve's performance as Superman remains unapologetically great still after two films. Now, despite the fact that Superman 3 forces him to participate in enormous action sequences that have no real place in the story, as well as a seduction subplot revolving Webster's bombshell assistant, Lorelei. That is to put it lightly, extremely dumb. The same can unfortunately be said much of Superman 3. Film that's unsure either it wants to be a superhero riff film or a silly James Bond adventure, or just a straight up classical comedy. There's a reason why people dislike this film. Is really pretty much the balance in this film was weak, and the comedy was really bad. Now, Ross Webster is played great by Robert Vaughn, but his team, and compared to Lex Luthor in the original film, Lex Luthor was going to kill millions of people to make a fortune in this. And Superman 3, Webster is trying to destroy the Colombia's coffee crops and steal all the world's oil. The worst thing that Webster did was when he tried to kill someone. It's probably the mistake when Warner decided to turn Superman 3 into a Richard Pryor comic, which ended up being not a great copy either. Besides that, I still think the movie's special effects were impressive at the time, and it's still good after 40 years. There's still a campy charm to many of Superman 3's biggest action moments. It does have great action moments, and the special effects does help it to be stand out compared to its other predecessor, Superman 4. But the set pieces and stunt gags almost all fall flat because there's no really reason for many of them to take place. Most of Superman 3's biggest action feats seem to exists solely so that Lester and his team could play around with the then state of the art tools at their disposal. The film's reliance on the hollow spectacle is a problem that continues to plague the superhero software. I mean, example, this year alone, Ant-Man 3 and The Flash 2023 have been criticized for polarizing visual effects and set pieces over characters in the story. What makes Superman 3 interesting in 2023 is how empathetically it highlights the problems with that kind of thinking of filmmaking could happen to franchises. Especially true if you watch the film right after these first two films, both of which are still tremendously fun. Now, to just wrap up, Superman 3 is overall a not great sequel, but it still has its charm like the first two, but it just doesn't have a cohesive plot and engaging villains to really follow this film great. It's definitely the weakest, but for me, it's definitely the worst of Superman. I still enjoy at least Superman 4 because it was at least trying to be serious, but still, Superman 3 and 4 are the weakest in the Reeve films. Now, thank you everyone for listening to the Superman 3 40th anniversary review. I hope you guys have a good week and ciao.